two teams have been standard bearers, championship programs. And when they look at their schedule, there are a lot of big games. But they know to get where they want to be, they're going to have to go right through each other. And the Dogs and the Tide always have a national championship or bust mentality. Welcome between the hedges to Athens, Georgia and Sanford Stadium, home of the Georgia Bulldogs. As we'll see the number 4 team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide, taking on one of the top teams in this conference, the Georgia Bulldogs. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer alongside. Guys, we can't wait to see this game. Been looking forward to it all week. Alabama about to kick off to get this game underway. He wisely lets that one bounce through the back of the end zone, and they'll take over at the 25. From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. Got him up for the first down. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. That's the type of explosive play you love to start a drive with. First down from the 42. They're going to run it to the right. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
And that's exactly what you want to do as a defense, man. You want to get penetration and not let that tank get downhill. Because when he gets downhill at that weight and that size, it could be a problem for your defense. Get him before he gets started.
Lost one on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Wants to throw. It's Stockton. Rush is on him. Pass rush coming after the quarterback, and they get him at the 32.
Really nice play. When you talk about Alabama and their dominance on defense, especially in recent years, it all starts up front. You have to have disruptors playing on the defensive line, guys that can be versatile and line up at different positions, but create havoc in the backfield, and that's what this guy has been able to do throughout his career.
On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield.
And that is how you silence this raucous crowd. Defensively on the road, first drive of the game, setting the tone, getting a huge sack on 3rd down.
Gets it away, good distance, but more importantly, just the direction he wanted. This crowd trying to make life miserable for this offense. Miller with the ball. And the visitors have nothing doing as they are greeted rudely on the opening play of the game.
I love when defensive backs come up and they are physical and they stick their face in the fan and they aren't scared. Talking to the defensive coordinator coming into this game, he knew his DBs had to tackle well. They had to get these running backs on the ground. Great start on this first drive.
Here's the handoff. Just sort of a relentless run, getting everything that was available to him, and they'll mark him down at the 40. In a competitive conference like the SEC, you just can't afford to start 0-1 if you want to chase a championship. Really important to get off to a good start.
CC, you've got to set the tone early. It's all about creating momentum out of the gate. Both of these teams had this game circled all offseason, David. They know what's riding on the line.
There's so much riding on the line. Who gets to Atlanta down the road? Bragging rights, recruiting rights, all this stuff. Once you get in conference play, it means a lot every single week.
Defense did a great job. 3rd and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel in the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
So the last thing you want to do is start the game, first drive, go 3 and out. They won't do that here. They might go 4 and out, but they'll try to convert here. Looking for a push on 4th down. They stop him short of the marker, and they'll turn it over on downs.
Aggressive. You want to be aggressive. You want to take chances, and you tell your team about it all week, and you come out, you get an opportunity in the first half to go for it on 4th down. You shot your shot. The problem is now you put your defense in a bad situation.
Throws toward the end zone. And it was worth going for a chunk play, but the long pass is incomplete.
Well, the offense taking a shot after getting the takeaway. They're in what's called the fringe area. It's not quite the red zone, but it's a good spot to throw posts, to throw goes, to throw deep corner routes, smash routes. And that's exactly what they were thinking that time. Just a little bit off on the throw. Nice play by the defense, but I love the aggressive nature that time by the O.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. They'll leave it with him. Pick up a 5. They'll need 5 more on 3rd down. You can really set the tone for what's possible in your season in early season showdowns like this, both in the top 10 and both with the loftiest of goals.
This one's fun too, David, because we had this game circled in the offseason. We knew this was going to be a really good matchup early, and we're going to find out the answers to a lot of questions we have about both these teams.
Well, and sometimes it's hard to figure that out, right? Like, you don't get till mid-season, you're like, oh, they haven't played anybody. Out the gates, 2 top 10 teams, we get to find out really quickly who's legit.
When you're a playmaker like this guy is, your coaches are going to dial up plays intended for you, especially on 3rd down. That's what you saw in that last play. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that football. All week long, they decided on the biggest downs of this game, we're going to target our best player, and we're going to make sure that he gets looks. It doesn't matter what the coverage is. You saw it right there on that.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened. He didn't look open as it is, and the QB's trying to make a play, trying to force the ball, but at least he threw it where his guy could catch it or nobody could catch it.
Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Out of the gun, the running back has it. Brought down after a good pickup, and they're in the red zone at the 20.
I like the poise by the quarterback on that play, too, because a lot of times as a quarterback, you see the blitz coming, and immediately you want to audible, you want to try to throw the ball, but he knew that he had a good run play call, and he knew he could leave it on. Heads up play by the QB.
Wants to adjust the pattern. Dropping back, it's Stockton. Using the quick game. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. Well, they were counting on winning the one-on-one battle. They got the completion, but the yardage didn't work out.
Yeah, and a lot of times, man, that's what I do on short yardage situation. 3rd and short, make my guy fall forward for a couple yards, try to get the first down, but it was a good tackle, and the receiver got absolutely nowhere after the catch.
Gets the back moving. On 4th down, they'll try to throw it. Drop the football, and they'll turn it over on downs. They thought they had a good plan, but it did not work.
Man, sometimes the best defense is getting a little bit lucky. He was open. He had a chance to make a play. He just drops it through his hand. It was pretty good defense, but you take those breaks when you can get it.
Defense there to stop him after a gain of 1 to the 22. This rivalry might not be as bitter for Alabama as the ones against Auburn or Tennessee, or for Georgia, the ones against Florida or Georgia Tech. But when Alabama and Georgia have met over the past decade or so, no matchup has been more impactful across the SEC or college football.
Oh, there's no doubt. Georgia's had a Bama problem. I mean, they've kind of had their number. Obviously got over the hurdle for the national championship, but some great teams that have been held back because Alabama's dominance. This is a big rivalry. This is a huge day for the Dogs.
Anytime these teams play, it feels like a national championship. Even more than an SEC championship. We've seen that time and time again. But one thing I know, Georgia's defense is going to know where Ryan Williams is lining up each and every play, because the true freshman last year ate this defense alive.
Here's a heat. And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16.
Sometimes you beat your guy and you get sacked so clean, and sometimes, like on this play, the DBs do a great job covering, make the QB hold the football, and then the rush gets home.
They booted away.
See, once he left everybody in the dust and he was going to the house, the sidelines going nuts. What a big-time play to take the lead. Defense did his job. Now special teams coming through in a big way.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Brings it back out to his own 29-yard line before going out of bounds, and his offense will have the ball there. See what they have dialed up as this drive starts from the 29-yard line. The give is to Miller. Powers through the defender. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. A negative play to open the drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. Well, guys, it's Georgia holding the lead at the end of the quarter. We've played one. Before we move on, let's have a look at the stats. Lots of time left and ready to go back at it here in the second quarter. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. Off the play fake. Pocket breaking down. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. Defense trying to take it back. Touchdown, Bulldogs. The defense putting points on the board.
Defenses are always trying to force turnovers, to get the ball back to their offense, make those big plays. You know what the cherry on the sundae is? When you force the turnover, the pill hits the ground, you scoop it up, and you take it all the way back to the house. Huge play for this defense.
Looks like he's going to try to return it. Almost a little bit more on that return. He's chased out of bounds at the 30 in good starting position for this offense. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. They really need to find a way to punch back on this drive, already down 14. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one.
I like offenses being creative. I'm not sure if that was the best place to call that play. I think this offense needs to think about just doing things a little bit more by the book. They've got a lot of good playmakers. You don't have to reinvent the wheel this early in the game.
We'll send the tight end in motion. To throw, it's Russell. Looking to scramble. Now he'll let one fly down the left side. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. Their performance in SEC play last year was forgettable. They'd love to make it memorable this time around.
I love when Reese uses that phrases like forgettable, which means it was awful, not very good, okay? So they're looking for a bounce back. They've been selling this program all offseason. They've been trying to bring in new additions. They've been trying to create some juice, Palmer. Now they got to go out and do it.
I think they realized, too, a year ago they weren't as talented as some of their opponents, but they also gave some games away. And they've got to be better in critical down and distances in big moments when they get into these SEC conference games this season.
Trying to make that rush think on the draw play here. After the pickup of 9, it's 2nd and 1.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on second down.
Alabama with a multitude of options on 2nd and short. They go to the ground. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. If you're going to play Bama tough, you're going to find out really early if you can handle the running game.
Yeah, they're going to check your chin. I mean, they're going to come in and they're going to give you a steady diet of it. Even when they've had great quarterback play and spread the ball out, it's still a physical principle. They're going to make you stop the run. If you can't stop it, it could be a long game.
Defense dropping into soft coverage.
Timeout, Georgia.
They have been stagnant on offense, but finally a little forward movement as they've got a 1st and 10. They'll send the back in motion. They'll go to the ground. He gets nothing, and they're staying stubborn with this running game, but at some point you're going to have to change your thought process.
Awesome job up front by this defensive line, being so good at the point of attack and eating blocks, eating some double teams that allows these linebackers to run free, unencumbered, and get to the football.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Looking downfield, it's Russell. Grabbed in the middle, it's Hale. He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a first down.
Zone coverage means everybody's looking at the quarterback. So now, when I'm a wide receiver, I got to make sure I know I fit in the hole between these zones. I know where they're dropping to, and I know where I need to get to. Great job by the wide receiver finding that hole and the quarterback throwing a strike.
Makes the grab. It's Young. Corralled and forced out of bounds. Mark it right at the 16-yard line, and man, are they in business.
And quarterbacks love running backs who can catch the ball because they're stat patterns. That's an easy throw for this quarterback to make. He's just letting his running back do all the work. Get him the football out in space and let the magic happen.
This quarterback needs to stay true to his mechanics. He just sort of heaved it up off the back foot.
And these mechanics are crazy. You see all these quarterbacks on the field with towels before games and doing that little salsa thing that you see quarterbacks with their hips, popping through. But it makes sense because you have to have that good, strong base underneath you. Otherwise, you start to sell that football and miss your target.
He's dragged down at the 12 as they try to cash in on this red zone opportunity. This crowd knows this defense needs them right now. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up 4th down.
that's why you always want to be pursuing the football. QB's scrambling, he rolls out to the right, but don't quit if you're on defense. Get somebody after the QB. They got to him, they hit him, and forced the incompletion.
And it's no good. And after the miss, it's still a 14-point game.
Well, everybody in the stadium thought that was an automatic three. Not so fast. Bad miss by the kicker.
No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. And off to Jones. Tripped up at the 25 after picking up 4.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20-yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
To the air, it's Stockton. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
And this offensive line's got to do a little better job, man. You've got to give your quarterback time to go through his progressions, from go to 1 to 2, and then maybe make a play. And he goes off of his first target, and you could tell he did not have much time getting hit as he's trying to throw the football. You've got to protect your quarterback.
Got a little space. Nice job to get it past the sticks and then get it down at the 35.
Yeah, and way to be creative, way to get the ball in the perimeter really quickly, get some speed outside. All you got to do is secure that edge, and you're just trying to get that first down. Nice job, nice play call by the offense.
We're at the 2-minute timeout. They've built a big lead, and they'll try to pile on a little more before the break. Georgia ready to dial it up on another first down. Looking to throw on first down. Quickly out to the tight end.
I'll tell you, I love the play call on first down here. You're just trying to find an easy completion, and the shortest throw on the field for the quarterback is finding your biggest target, and that's the tight end. Nice job.
Got the completion on the last play. Still some work to do on second down. Looking to fire. Finds the tight end. And that defense pushing him out of bounds after a short gain.
And you see tight end matchups all over the field all the time. Now, it used to just be in the red zone. Now, you just find the big fella, you put him in the slot, try to give him the ball as much as possible because you know he can make big plays.
He might want another play. On third and short, trying to impose their will and move the chains. Some hard running there, but just too many defenders as he stopped for a loss. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Georgia sends out the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Cover guys getting down to do their job, and they'll stop him at the 15. drive will open from the 15. They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game. The quarterback just lost track of the play clock, didn't get the snap off quickly enough. To the air, it's Russell. Just a short pass to the tight end. Hard-hitting tackle. That throw and catch, a really good example of why coaches don't want a quarterback to get stuck on a particular target, isn't it, Dave?
Yep, that's exactly right. Find the guy who's open, because you got so many guys that have so much speed that can do so much damage on the field. Find my matchup, get it to him, let him do the rest.
Second down, he'll throw it. Caught near the sticks. It's Williams. He'll be stopped and forced out of bounds right around the 34-yard line, and now they've got a little something brewing. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 34. Wide receiver comes in motion. Looking downfield on 1st down. Steps away. And not much going on downfield. You just get rid of it and live to play another down.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Here's the pressure. Finds his man. It's Miller. The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call.
One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense, catching the football.
Grab near the marker. It's Bernard. And he gets it done on 3rd down. They move the chains, and they'll mark it at the 44. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Fires to the wideout. Pass is incomplete. The clock is down to 9.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
Looking for a man. It's Russell. Throws for the tight end. This time he's got his man. They'll use a timeout right before halftime. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays.
They say tight ends are a quarterback's best friend in the pass game because think about it. The tight end's the guy lined up closest to the quarterback, which means generally those are the easiest throws a quarterback has. You saw it on that play.
So it's 1st down, but with just a few seconds, they'll try to put up a 3 before halftime. The official says no good. Guys, a missed field goal and nothing changes. Still a 14-point game.
Listen, he's a guy that makes 60-yarders in practice, so they give him that opportunity with this big leg. He misses it. The opponent didn't set up the return, so they're going to get the football back now. Pretty good field position. There's still a few ticks left on the clock. They've got a chance to steal some points here late in the half.
To the air on 1st down. Looking for an open area to his left. Turns and fires a risky pass back to the right. Big gainer there that'll look good in the stat column, but not quite enough to put any points on the board before time expires here in the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update. Ready to get things going here in the second half as Georgia about to kick it away. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. Trailing by a couple of offense here early in the third quarter.
Down.
Turning it on. Made a defender miss. Just what they were looking for. A huge explosive play, and they're inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. They've done a really good job identifying mismatches, and they find one out of the backfield there.
Reese, I really don't think it's that hard. My guy is better than yours. Find the matchup across the field. Running back's got some speed. Get it in his hands quickly. Throw it to him fast. Let him make somebody miss against a slower guy that's usually a linebacker.
They'll get it down to the 10-yard line on that completion. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Going for 6. And he really wanted to get the touchdown there, but it's incomplete.
But how loud is it in this building? This is crazy. These fans are going absolutely nuts. And I used to love when the fans got involved when I'm on defense because it messes with the snap count. It messes with the communication, and it can really rattle an offense.
That pass is well off target. He got hit as he was trying to throw, and they can't convert on third down.
Well, you can see the frustration on this guy's face. He's one of the best receivers in college football, and they knew coming into this game that he had to get touches, but you can't say enough about how good this defense has been defending him. They've always had an answer, whether it's single coverage, double coverage, man or zone. They have not.
Big tight end makes the grab. It's a first down. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. Quick strike through the air for the score.
Hey, when everything else is covered, sometimes you just got to look to the big fella. I mean, it might not be the right matchup, but I got the size, I can throw it to him, and he rewards you with the skill.
They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. That ball scoots through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. We're ready to get another look at this Bulldog offense. They're still holding the lead, but hoping to flex a little muscle on this drive. Takes the handoff. It's McCray. Tackle is made at the 28 after a pickup of 3.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive. Stick your foot in the ground. Pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. He'll run it again. He stopped after getting a yard out to the 30.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
Back to pass. It's Stockton. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up.
This game just feels so different than it did in the first half. After that incompletion, now setting up fourth down, they only have a one-possession lead. Things were looking so much better earlier in the game. They're going to have to get it together throwing the football if they want to win this game.
On fourth down, looking to pass. Big tight end makes the grab. First down, still on his feet. Breaks into the open on the left. Touchdown, Dogs! Made the grab and then did the rest himself, and they put points on the board.
Man, tight ends do so much for your offense. They block like crazy. You pull them, you use them all over the place. And when you got a guy that can do this, it's just the cherry on top of the sundae. Making big plays, going half the field plus to get the big touchdown.
They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Fielded in the end zone. It's Adams. I imagine he's going to get an earful on the sideline after bringing it out of the end zone and being knocked down at the 11. Here comes that Alabama offense. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to dial up plays that you've already had success with, running it and throwing it. It's okay to repeat plays down 14 at this point.
And I would also say, Paul, kind of understanding that my defense is not playing great, so I know offensively I got to put some good possessions together here, make something happen on this side of the football.
That's caught. It's Williams. Ridden out of bounds at the 14-yard line, and that'll give them a bit more room to operate.
How nice is it in this offense to have your best receiver playing in the slot? You're matching him up against linebackers, against safeties, or nickel corners. Nickel corners are oftentimes the defense's third best cornerback. This guy is virtually uncoverable.
Back to pass, it's Russell. Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's fourth down.
This offense hasn't been able to generate a lot of points in this one. Here in the third quarter, you're seeing the defense and how much pride they take on being physical. It's not just stopping to run. Guys in the back end flying to the football in the air, getting hits on guys, that time on the receiver, knocking it loose.
Makes the grab plenty for the first down. And he'll be marked down, but he's got enough to move the chains.
This guy's done a lot of good things early this year throwing the football. With that last completion, that now takes him over 1,000 yards passing for the year.
Throws to the wideout. Put it where only his man could get it and gave him enough room to get the foot down. Every good quarterback is first a game manager. At Alabama, that used to be sort of a label of derision, but now they're not only that, they're playmakers.
Yeah, and it's what they used to ask him to do. Like they were very comfortable handing the ball off, running the ball, controlling the clock, trying to keep your defense fresh. Nah, bro. If you can't score points now, if you can't get first downs and go get me touchdowns, you're not going to be on the field.
The Crimson Tide comes to the line with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw again. Got it in the middle. It's Bernard. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first.
Well, this offense knew coming into this game they wanted to try to attack the middle of the field in the passing game, and they're execute the in route there.
The Crimson Tide can dig into that playbook here on 2nd and short. They'll move the wide receiver. Looking downfield, it's Russell. Caught near the sticks, it's Cuevas. At the 20, he's got space. They make the stop, but not before he sets them up with a 1st and goal from the 10.
Well, this guy already has a touchdown. He almost had his second right there. You saw how good he is after he has the ball in his hands. Great job by the quarterback. A, finding him, B, getting it to him quickly, and then his speed and his God-given ability does the rest. He's got his offense in great field position.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Touchdown, Bama! Grab the short pass to put the 6 on the board.
And the passing game paying dividends right now for this offense. They just had a big play through the air to get him down in the situation. So let the quarterback deal. Great job reading coverage. He found his open target, accurate throw, and 2 plays through the air, and they've got 6 points on the board.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
A lot of eyeballs on your game, guys, and a few on this interesting matchup as well. Arkansas is just getting blown off the field right now, and it may continue to get worse before it gets better, if it gets better. What a shocker today in Fayetteville. They're trailing by 15 to Notre Dame. We promise to keep you posted on what goes down in this exciting college football matchup.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. Power football with the run. Good vision and determination there to find his way up to the 23.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
And the Bulldogs with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. Back to throw, it's Stockton. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12.
Man, that's an impressive play. This dude is so dominant. And I'll tell you, we don't have enough time in this broadcast to list off all the great Alabama D linemen, especially in recent years. That play right there, that reminds me of a guy I played against back in the day, Cornelius Griffin, playing on the inside of Alabama's defensive line. You knew every single time you dropped back, you were going to have that guy in your lap. He was always pushing the pocket, and he was always collapsing it with his speed and athleticism and his first step. That last play right there reminds me of some of these great players we've seen on the Crimson Tide D-line here in recent years.
He'll be dragged down right at the 19-yard line. It'll bring up fourth down.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, and David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of a spot.
They'll start this drive from the 42. Miller with the ball. This has been happening all night. They stubbornly keep giving him the ball, and the defense is all over it.
I got to be honest, I am shocked at just how well the defense has played in this game, especially stopping the run. We talked about statistically how they've struggled this season, but they have put the clamps down on this one, and they're just playing with a ton of intensity.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Back to pass. Oh, they're after him. And the quarterback will take a sack back at the 36. We've reached the break, and Georgia is on top. 3 quarters are in the books. Time becomes a factor, both in trying to hold the lead or cut into it as we take a look at the stats. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. After swapping ends of the field, they gave him a little time to figure out how they'll open the final period here on 3rd down. Dropping back, it's Russell. Looking to take a shot. Makes a grab at the 25 and there's room. What a play to get it inside the red zone, and they are set up at the 17.
And how about the big strike down the field? I love when offenses take shots down the field, try to make big plays. Now they're set up in the red zone.
Trying to cap this drive with the pass. Finds his big tight end. Good throw and catch. Takes it down to the 5 as the offense tries to cash in. And with that one, he's now over 3 bills for the game.
And there's 2 reasons why, Reese. He's made good decisions, and he's been accurate throwing the football all game long.
And a big opportunity for this offense to tie the game up in the 4th with a touchdown. Wide receiver going in motion. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama! Fitted in the window for the score.
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be, and and be accurate with the football. That's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when they're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on game day.
So the kick goes out of bounds, and the ball will be placed at the 40 to start this drive. Gonna run it. It's McCray. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
That's such a great physical play by the defense because this is one of the bigger, more physical running backs you'll see in the country, and we're used to seeing him push the pile the other direction, not that.
Unloads it downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Going for broke on second down, but third down's coming up.
When they take big shots down the field and they air it out, I got to trust my technique. I got to stay with that wide receiver, wait till he shows his hands. When he shows his hands, I'm bringing my hands up to knock the ball away. Nice job by the defense using his technique, knocking the football away.
Quarterback making checks. Motion from the wideout. To the air, it's Stockton. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
After that incompletion here, tied in the fourth quarter, you've got a decision to make with this field position. Do you want to stay aggressive and try and go win this game now and bleed a little bit more clock, or do you trust your defense if you punt this away to get you the ball back so you can still win?
Couldn't get away from that cover team, and they've got him down at the 23. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. They tied it up with a touchdown drive, got some good work from their defense, and now here in the fourth quarter, an opportunity to move on top.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
They'll go to work in the air on second down. That's caught. It's Williams. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
Big third down as the crowd gets behind this defense. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. And with that effort, they pick up a fresh set of downs. They have it at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, you know what time it is. It's about the big boys up front. You got to give me a little bit of space, a little crack. You just can't give up that penetration so my running back can fall forward just like that and get the first down.
Back to throw, it's Russell. Moves away as he feels pressure. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room. He gets it up to the 44-yard line. He'll be marked out of bounds right there as this offense continues to roll.
And I think this is important for this defense. This will be a big key in the football game. Like, I got to limit the damage from that guy. Because that's a QB that's dynamic, and he can make so many big plays. I got to string him out. I got to make him get to the sideline. But I will say this. I do want to hit him at the end of the runs. I don't want to let him out of bounds and let him get free carries. I want it to be physical.
Leaves it with the back. Breaks into the open. Now they're starting to feel it. They've got a first down at the 44.
Wow, the running back there showing you his skill set as he's able to rip off that one for a first down.
Alabama rolling quickly downfield, set up with another first down. Motion from the wide receiver. Wants to throw on first down. Quickly to the tight end. And that was some kind of collision between a couple of big bodies there, and he stopped from getting the first down. And now on second down for this offense. Wants to go up top. Caught close to the marker. It's Cuevas. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down.
It's important on offense to get the tight ends involved in the passing game. These are big fellas that can run, and this guy's a big target, so nice job on that play.
Out of the gun, the inside give. Picks up the first down, still moving. And he's brought down after a nice gain. The Tide with the 1st and 10. From the red zone, it's Young. Got some room, headed to the goal line. Touchdown Tide! And they've moved out front here in the 4th.
Man, and how about this offense in crunch time, doing what they do, getting 6 on the board. Now I turn to my defense right now. I said, boys, we need one more stop. Go out there, get me one more.
The extra point is good, and now in the 4th, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And as the ball makes its way into the end zone, it'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Looking to throw it, Stockton. Under fire. And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a huge play this late in the game.
Man, a lot of coaches talk about starting the drive positive and a first play that can get you going. The QB just kept backing up and going backwards, and that is not the start to the drive they were looking for.
Quarterback making adjustments. Going to sling it on second down. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
And this defense taking matters into their own hands. First down, you get the sack. Second down, you force the incompletion. Now sitting in 3rd and long, you got them in their own territory. Big opportunity for this defense to shut this offense down right now.
On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Snagged in the middle, it's Branch. What a play by this defense, and they stop him short. It'll be 4th down.
Big-time players make big plays in big games, and in this situation, trailing late, you know this is going to be the guy they throw the football to. He is one of the best receivers in all of college football. The defense needs to be anticipating the quarterback looking his way.
He'll go up top, maybe a deciding play here. It's dropped, and oh, what a tough way to end this drive. And they are stopped on 4th down. That decision will be questioned. Great place to start for this offense. Expect some pressure coming from the blitz. He'll ride his man on the option. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Alabama has the clock on his side, trying to finish the game. Off the bootleg, wants to throw it. quickly complete. Oh, he's got some space. They'll make the stop, but that first down ought to ice it, and they should be able to kneel this one out. Assuming they can wrap this one up, guys, they've served notice early in the season, winning a game like this, that this passing game will have to be dealt with.
Yeah, top 10 team, too, because everybody knew the talent they had coming back on offense, the playmakers at the skill positions. And, David, we've seen it early this season. In this game, they've been throwing it all over the yard.
Yeah, but you do want to see it against good competition. So that's what's fun about today, like proving it against a really good team. We can talk about, this guy's a star, this guy's a star. Now doing it like this on this stage, now I'm a believer.
He'll run it up the middle, trying to pick its way to the end zone. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. With that, the lead nice and comfortable, and they're cruising toward a 4-0 start.
That is exactly what you want your offense to do. You want it to eat clock, but if you score, go up by 2 possessions, nail, meet, coffin. Great execution by this offense to put this game away.
And there will be no return on this one as the ball bounds into the end zone. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Scanning the field, it's Stockton. He wants a big play here late. A sensational grab down the field there as they try to at least put a positive spin on the end of this game. Sprinting to the line to try to get this one off. Clock's running. He wants to change this route. Looking to throw on first down. He'll take another shot here. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
And the defense is playing with a sense of urgency right now. Obviously, they're playing with the lead. They know this offense needs to find a way to generate points, expecting a shot on that last play, so nice job in coverage.
Right back up top on 2nd and 10. And swatted down by the defense to stop the scoring opportunity.
Man, what a great play by the defender there. Big-time players make big plays in big games, and against an outstanding wide receiver one-on-one, he's able to knock the ball away and force an incompletion late in the game with...
Throws toward the end zone. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down.
On that 3rd down, they took a shot in the end zone, just couldn't connect. QB and receiver not on the same page, and now it's decision time if you're the head coach on 4th.
Down in the 4th quarter, it's too late for empty possessions. They'll go for it on 4th down. Now the play fake. Going back to the well, another deep ball. Can't find his man. It'll be incomplete, and that is a heartbreaker this late in the game. So with the late lead, they're ready to just drain the clock in victory formation. And they're just about out of chances. The defense can stop it one more time as the quarterback takes a knee. I know both of these teams were ranked, guys, but it really seemed as if they weren't on the same level in this game.
I think that was a pretty good statement game for these guys. I mean, you're ranked higher.